2024 was our first full year in business.
Okay.
And previous to that, it was like 2023, one product in March, two products in March, April, May, June, and then July, we kind of filled out the complement of products that we have now. So the first full year, and I'm really, really proud to say this, we hit and exceeded $1 million in sales.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah. Thank
And
you.
that for,
But
yeah.
yeah, but it's like the customer base is there. Um, I think women appreciate good products, and
Hmm.
they appreciate that like our approach to marketing and communicating to women is not, we don't talk down to anybody. We don't feel the need to simplify language, which are like we're talking to grown-up women, and
Yeah.
and we're a smart lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, my extraordinary women friends. What does it take to build $1 million business in your first year? Today's guest, Alexis Eizinas, did just that. After decades in the beauty industry, she saw a gap no one else was filling: real science backed products for women embracing their natural silver hair. And in just 1 year, Silvering Beauty skyrocketed past the $1 million mark. But this isn't just a business story, it's a movement. Alexis is redefining beauty standards, proving that wisdom is beautiful and empowering women to own their silver with confidence. And I'll be honest, this conversation hits close to home for me. I'm a few months into my own silvering journey, and it's been a mix of excitement, curiosity, and yes, a few "do I really want to do this" moments. But the more I lean in, the more I see how freeing it truly is. I can't wait for you to hear Alexis's wisdom, her business journey, and why silvering is about so much more than just hair. Let's meet Alexis Asianus. Well, welcome to Extraordinary Women Radio, Alexis. I am so excited to have you here today.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Yeah, it's lovely to see your smiling face.
Yeah, yours too. And excited to hear about your journey because you've really come out of the world. You've been in the world of beauty for a long time.
Yeah, about
And
30 years.
yeah, so you've gone through this journey of being in the world of beauty for a long time. And now you have this wonderful products that are really working with women with, going silver, as I'm doing. So tell us a little bit about your launch, how you went from the work that you were doing to the work of launching silvering.
Oh, that's a story. Well, I think like a lot of women, you kind of get into the corporate world and you start kind of um, becoming very good at something,
Yeah.
like honing your expertise.
Yeah.
And my expertise was in design, industrial design in particular. And as an industrial designer, I was working with the team as a design director. And what we would do is design the interiors, um, like the interior 3D expression of brands in store. And I'm talking beauty brands. So, when you see like a shop in shop, so
Yep.
like a Chanel shop at Macy's,
Right. Mm-hmm.
we did those. Um, or when you see any Sephora store, we did all
Mm-hmm.
of the fixtures for Sephora, all of the brands for Sephora, and this was my background. Like all of the products that were ever being launched over the past 20 years crossed my desk. So I had like a real eye on what was trending.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch trends come and go. I
Mm-hmm.
got to see the industry really change from kind of pre-social media to social media, the effective influencers. Um, and in that regard, there was like this shift where it used to be the beauty brands would dictate this is what's beautiful, through magazines and advertising, and tell people, tell women, this is what you should be buying. And that switched to a customer first. So the customers were saying, "Well, no, I want this. I'm looking for something that's more organic. I'm looking for clean
Mm.
beauty," and they started dictating these changes, and it was like a really interesting time.
Where the
Um,
magazines were really pushing, I mean, they were pushing what they thought we wanted at first, but this shift really went more towards the consumer side of things.
that's right, and it's
Fascinating.
still, and that's kind of where we are today. And what's really interesting about that is suddenly the customer has such an important voice, and And I know it's such a strange time right now where ideas of DEI are being kind of
Mm-hmm,
dismantled.
mm-hmm. Right.
But especially in the beauty industry, like I've seen how beauty can impact change, for how it can change the way women feel about themselves when they see themselves represented in the beauty aisles,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Totally agree.
When they see themselves and they've been asking for it, and and it's uh, um, it's very impactful. Yeah, we'll leave it there. So there I was doing my business, and then COVID hits. We remember that. That was fun.
Yeah, totally.
Um, and like everybody else, I was at home with my kid next to me, kind of like homeschooling. We're like, stop doing that. Um, oh, it was a gong show. But I was also online, like everybody else, and I was watching the world, especially women, going through these changes. Like, well, I can't get to the salon, so if I'm going to stop
Hmm.
dyeing my hair, now might be the time to do it. And
Yeah.
or letting their hair grow out a little bit for
Yeah.
5 months, being like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
And then having all of these questions. So because I had stopped dyeing my hair in 2008, I had quite a bit of experience, and I'd also tried every product on, that crossed my desk. And I saw what
Oh
was
yeah,
out
what a
there,
great opportunity to test all
right?
the different products there, right?
Yes, and to see what was there and what wasn't there, and all the compromises, like the beauty compromises that I had to make, eyebrow shades being like such a big one. That was kind of the impetus. But um, yeah, so I saw the world changing, and I would go on to these Facebook groups, and women were asking, "Oh, what do I do with this?" And, "Oh, my hair is yellowing. What do I do with this? What do I do with this?" And I had had enough experience, and I'd been around cosmetics, and I had kind of figured it out for my own hair. And I was like answering, like, "Oh, you should try this, and this really works. And if you did this, this would help." Blah, blah, blah. And I realized that there was this big hole, like a huge hole in the market of answers, like real answers, like science-based answers. Um, Lots of anecdotes and lots of, well, this worked for me and this worked for me, and like some very unusual um, things that women were doing to kind of solve their hair woes. And I thought, yeah, somebody should really do something about this.
Right.
Seriously. And because I was in the industry for as long as I was, I knew a lot of founders, um, and I reached out to them and
Hmm.
I said, I have this idea.
What do you
And I
think?
was like initially thinking like, here, I'll give you this idea. Please, somebody needs to do this. Um, and I realized like after talking to these women, because they were women founders that I was talking to, um, I realized that they had their niche and they were doing what they were doing. They saw that I had an idea, and they suggested, and I realized, I'm like, I think I might be the person to do this. Like I have the
Mm,
connections. I can ask, questions from, people who have done it before. Um, I know there's a market. I'm part of the market. I can see all the questions that are out there, and that nobody is serving these women. And I felt like I could do this. I
yeah.
think I could do this.
Oh, I love it.
And that's kind of how it started. I got I came up with a business plan and asked a crap load of questions and researched, because as an industrial designer, like I'm kind of pre-programmed to problem solve and look
Hmm.
for solutions that are win-win-win. Like how do
Hmm.
I how do I make sure that what I'm doing kind of accommodates all of these things? And got together with labs during COVID and did
Yeah,
everything.
that's going to be a
It was
question I had.
so
Is like,
hard.
how did you formulate the products as you started?
It
What some of the steps
it
you
was so
took there?
hard. Well, it's interesting because people ask if it was difficult during COVID because you can't go to the lab, but I did. I
Right.
worked with labs and I worked with scientists to look at what makes silvering hair as awesome and beautiful as it is, and how do we like accentuate its beauty. Um, and what was difficult, I guess, comparatively speaking, is that everything had to be done, through couriers. Like I couldn't go to the labs. It was all done in Canada, which I'm very proud of,
Hmm.
because we have quite a few companies that manufacture cosmetics. Um, yeah, had to do everything kind of online in this kind of environment, the Zoom
Mm-hmm.
kind of type environment, uh, and had a small army of women who were trying the products, and everything was being
Excellent.
mailed and couriered, and the feedback circles were really weird but wonderful. Um, and I think honestly, not having done it before, it was fine, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's probably really a lot easier, when you
Yeah.
could do it in
Yeah.
person, but
Yeah.
this
And
is
I
how
know
we
one
had
of
to
the
do it.
things you wanted to make sure of is you were using healthy products as well. And it's like
Yeah,
making really healthy products. That was one of your criteria.
absolutely. And that's part of being having a history in the beauty industry as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like once you
Yeah.
know better, like you can't unknow that.
Right.
And
Right.
and Cami, this is something for any woman who's going out to start a business or to start something.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to have an angel and a devil on your
Mm-hmm.
shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
There's a quick, cheap, easy way, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's the right way. And if
Mm.
you're over a certain age, you know what the right way is, and maybe it's not cheap and maybe it's not fast, but it's the right thing to do. And I'm very, very proud, especially because I know it's mine and I'm
Right.
doing it, that I can make
Right.
those decisions and say, yeah, it's going to be a non-toxic and environmentally friendly packaging.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was
Yeah.
every element has been touched and really, really thought about, the good or the bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how did you make that? Like, did you do the leap? Like, did you make the decision and make the leap? Did you make the decision and build and then make the leap out of the corporate world? I mean, what was that journey like for you?
Hmm. I feel like I feel like the way a lot of women probably feel
Mm-hmm.
is that at a certain point in your career, you've kind of hit a glass ceiling or you've kind
Mm-hmm.
of maxed out on your like, yeah, I think I've had enough. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, COVID was a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was just like the right place at the right time, the right financial situation that I
Mm-hmm.
was in. Um, and and I had the support of my family,
Yeah.
and I think that
Yeah.
that makes a difference as well.
Yeah.
Um, so that transition was like a vacation. I'd taken all my vacation time, and I took like all my vacation time that I hadn't taken in years. And then I was like, all right. And then I was like, I just don't want to go back to work because I was doing it. It's kind of a side kind of idea, like, oh, I'll put the
Yeah.
business plan together. Oh, we'll do all this research. But once I decided that, yeah, this is what I want to do, I just couldn't go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly, like, I knew I couldn't go back.
And
Hmm.
did you self-fund everything or did you
I did.
okay, so you didn't raise capital, you self-funded. It was all
No,
good on you.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's again, like it's not like I didn't have a boatload of cash, but I was able to get
Yeah.
a business loan,
Hmm.
and with that
Hmm.
business loan and what I could do, I did what I could do and started small and
Yeah.
built it up.
Yeah. So it's been about a year now. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so last year, 2024 was our first full year in business.
Okay.
And previous to that, it was like 2023, one product in March, two products in March, April, May, June, and then July, we kind of filled out the complement of products that we have now. So the first full year, I'm really, really proud to say this. We hit and exceeded $1 million in sales.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
congratulations.
yeah. Thank
And
you.
that for yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the customer base is there. Um, I think women appreciate good products, and
Hmm.
they appreciate that like our approach to marketing and communicating to women is not. We don't talk down to anybody. We don't feel the need to simplify language, which are like we're talking to grown-up women, and
Yeah.
and we're a smart lot. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
yeah.
So
So the customers are great.
talk a little bit about I know you talk about wisdom is beautiful and just the whole getting behind the purpose of oh you got it on your shirt even
I
wisdom
have
is
a T-shirt.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Look
that.
for the YouTube group.
Yeah. So she's wearing a t-shirt that says wisdom is beautiful. I
You
love
can
it
buy
so
it on the
much.
website.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to have to go get one of those, I think.
Go
So tell
get it.
us a little bit more about, beauty traditions, traditionally really celebrated young, women, right? And you see more and more of this movement featuring the silver, featuring the wisdom. Tell us more
Mhm.
about your philosophies behind this, and you know what prompted you to really light you up there.
Well, wisdom is an interesting word, isn't it? I
It
know
always, and I
that you
love it.
use it.
I use
Yes.
it. Women's wisdom is the medicine our earth needs, right?
Oh, beautiful. Yes. And like,
I
but what
say
is
it all the
wisdom?
time.
When you think of words like wisdom, you think of earned wisdom.
Hmm.
And when women speak about their silvers, it's like you've earned every one of them. You've earned
Yeah,
every one of them.
yeah.
And there's this it's an expression of growing up, and this is what we do. We grow up, don't we?
Hmm.
We don't stop growing up at 30.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We still
totally.
grow, and it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
Growing up is beautiful, and the the beauty that comes with wisdom is so obvious. Like I think as you grow, you feel it. It's like for women, it's like you're an onion, and every 10 years, this layer of insecurity peels off, and it's like you're getting closer and closer to this core of who you are. Right? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you're becoming worried less and less about different things. Um, and this idea of growing up is beautiful. Like wisdom is beautiful, and the signs of wisdom should be revered.
Hmm.
You know,
Totally.
they should be appreciated. They're why hide it? You know,
Right.
why hide the fact that you're a grown up and that you
Yeah,
are growing up, and it's something really to be proud of.
yeah. Oh,
And
I
so
love
this
that
this
so much.
for us, we can like with our beauty brand, it's kind of really a sweet spot to be in, I suppose. That we are talking about beauty, but we're also talking about amplifying these signs of growing up, and that's
Hmm.
the silvering hair.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, really proud of it, and to be proud of it, and to wear it with pride. And then also going back to what I was talking about before with representation in the beauty aisles, is that I think the best walking billboards for women are women.
Hmm.
You know, so when you see women walking around confidently with their silvers showing, you know, that tells the next generation of women that
It's
it's like,
okay. It's
yeah,
good.
it's
It's good.
okay. And
And
it's
yeah, and I agree. I mean, we all have very public profiles as well, right? I mean, it's, being on social media, being on, stages, all the different things. And that was the thing that really
yeah,
hung me up for a little while. It was like, do I really go there? Because I did start to let my
yeah,
hair go gray, silver. I like silver better than gray. I did
yeah.
start to let it go silver during COVID. And then when we came out of it, I was like, no, I'm going to go back and getting my hair colored again. And
I get it. I get
yeah,
it.
and
And it's like no shade at all for women who choose to color
exactly,
their hair. Like
exactly.
our purpose is to be there as the alternate and just to say, hey, this is also an option. Maybe you didn't know
Totally.
it was an option, but we have beauty products that will help to make this hair look amazing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was my, when I did finally decide, I don't know, it was just like, there was just so many people around me that were really deciding to choose silver. And I was like, I kind of like this. And the more that so I'm 4 months in right now, and,
Hmm.
and being 4 months in, what I appreciate is I appreciate the shades, actually knowing what shade of color my hair is underneath of that.
Surprise.
Yeah. And I also appreciate not putting all the chemicals on my hair every month, every 4 weeks. I mean, it was getting really bad. I mean, that was part of the where I made the decision, because it was like 4 weeks and I was already having lots of roots showing. So it was like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to 3 weeks. I am just not going to go to 3 weeks.
And
And
it damages your hair and it
yeah, and it's
damages your
freeing.
scalp.
Yeah, it's freeing. I'm like, okay,
Oh
this
yeah.
feels,
The
it
liberty.
just feels,
Yes.
yeah, I'm not spending that amount of time, or, even dollars. But, my husband's like, oh my gosh, you're saving so much money.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Different kind of
So,
support, but
yeah,
take it.
exactly. Exactly. But for women who are really thinking about going silver, but hesitating on that plunge, what advice would you give them?
Oh, be ready. Like when you're ready, you'll choose to do it. I mean, there's no pressure either way. And
Yeah.
I think as women, we're grown-ups. We, be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
Be good to yourself. There's no one way to do it, and there's there are lots of actually lots of different ways. Like you can get a wig, you can have that last coloring,
Yeah.
do the gray hair, um, bleaching. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the gray hair blending.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, or you can shave your head and just like
Yeah, you could.
you've
I saw
grown
some
out
women that
four
did that, and
inches.
it was beautiful.
It's
Totally beautiful.
fantastic. And then
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
dealing with like short hairstyles until your hair
Yeah.
grows out again, which
Yeah.
is kind of
Yeah.
that's okay too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah. Every
it's
woman gets to
okay.
choose that journey, whatever that looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that it's okay, it's I'd say 95% of the women who complete their grow out
Hmm.
will never go back. And
Yeah.
they're just like, what have I been doing this whole
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. So tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about purpose. Do you
Mm.
feel like this has been a calling for you that you maybe didn't
Um,
even know you had?
yes, yes. And I know that's something that you talk about, Cami. Like kind of finding your purpose and finding that piece that kind of unlocks a future. And for
Hmm.
me, it came later. I had it, like I
Hmm.
said, in the right place at the right time with the right background.
Hmm.
Um, and with a deep background in beauty,
Yeah.
so many different sides of it. Um, I knew that we can be we can do better.
Hmm.
And I felt, especially, seeing all the women and myself having silver hair, um, didn't have a whole lot of support. There wasn't a whole lot of information out there. There was still um, feelings of shame around our
Hmm.
hair.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought, we can do better. And for me, I'm a huge fan of women. I'm a huge fan of beauty. I'm a huge fan of like the power of beauty, like in a positive way.
Hmm.
Um, and and believe that it can change things. And I really believe that like it seems like a very tangled web, but I saw at the core of it just simply having wonderful products for women could change a lot.
Yeah.
By having pictures of silver-haired women in the beauty aisles would inspire younger generations. So there would be less shame. So it would just
Yeah.
make growing up a little bit easier for the next generation of women and girls. That's it. And it
Hmm.
doesn't seem like I'm not trying to change the world, but
Yeah.
trying to make it a little bit easier. Because this idea of shame and not being enough, and like the whole Barbie speech, pick a stanza. Um, you, we are enough. We are
Yeah.
enough as our authentic selves.
Hmm.
That's enough, and that it is beautiful.
Hmm.
And
Love
I
it.
thought I could. It's like a small thing, but that little piece of purpose really gets you through those hard days.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
Love it. Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your products, and then you've got me
Mm.
as a
Yeah,
client
yeah.
here. So tell me what products I need here.
Ah, so, Silvering carries cosmetics and hair care products that serve to amplify the beauty of silvering hair.
Mhm.
So there are lots of elements to that. So, in terms of cosmetics, we have brow products that,
Mhm.
and for any woman out there who who has silver hair or has had silver hair for the past 10 plus years, um, you the struggle is real.
Yeah.
Taupe is not the answer. Taupe, nope, nope to taupe. So we
Nope, it's tough.
as I'm gonna have to write that down actually.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, but what we've done is we've kind of narrowed down the shades that work for women with silvering hair is like in the
Mhm.
cooler family or a warmer family.
Okay.
Those those shades are they depend on, and you had asked this earlier in our pre chat. Um, they depend on what your low lights are and what your original hair color was.
Okay.
For some women who have white hair, they're like, I don't know, what am I, lighter? Am I cool or warm? It's like,
Yeah.
what color were you? And if you were like blonde, red haired, or a light brown, those were your original colors, then
Uh-huh.
you're in the warm family. And our warm is not hot, it's not taupey. It is perfectly desaturated. It's not gray, It's a desaturated, warm brown, but
Okay.
it's not hot. So it connects to the natural shades in your hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then cool is for women who had dark brown hair. Think
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mediterranean dark brown,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to Asian
Mm-hmm.
to African American hair. Boop. Those are the cool family.
Okay.
Um, and and we found that those two families really suit. And it's a small thing, but uh, you'll see when your hair starts to lighten, there's the frame around your face changes, right? So you go
Mm-hmm.
from having like a solid frame around your face to something lighter. And it's like, how do you bring attention back into
Your
your
eyes.
into your eyes? And that's the
Uh-huh.
brow. The eyebrow does magical things to your face. And that's
Okay.
it. So brows were like the first, and it's funny. A lot of my founder friends were like, "Are you sure brows? Do you think that's a thing?" I'm like,
It
oh, it's a
is.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah.
this is gonna be, and sure enough, it's one of our
Yeah.
best sellers.
Yeah.
And then we have uh, an optical filler. It's a filling powder for the scalp. Now, here's a fun fact: silver hair is actually translucent.
I think I've read that.
So even if
Yeah.
you don't have thinning hair, the first rows of hair are going to appear thinner because they're showing so much more scalp.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So we have a couple of fillers. We have a white shade that is just a little slightly creamier. It's not like a bright white, no sparkles. It's made for fit and made for purpose. And it adheres to the hair and it stays on the scalp. So what it does, it fills in thinning spots because thinning hair
Mm-hmm.
is real. Ladies, hormones are real. The effects of hormones
Yep.
are real. Um, so it fills in some of the, gap hair spots. And then it also opacifies those layers of silver. And once it opacifies it, instant volume. So we have that in
Mm.
white, and then we have salt and pepper, which is our darker shade, which for women for the darker areas of their hair where they need to fill in the hairline a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
that's the go-to. And this product is also great if you wanted to amplify your streaks because there's a period in the evolution of your hair where there's a streakiness and it's lovely. So you can like brighten up highlights and deepen the low
Oh,
tones.
cool. Very
Yeah, no,
cool.
it's fun. Yeah, it lets
Yeah.
you have fun with your hair. It's lovely.
What is
And
that
then,
product called again?
that one's called Borderline.
Borderline. Okay.
Borderline. So the first one is the True Expression
Uh-huh.
eyebrow duos.
Uh-huh.
Because it's your true expression. It's the true
Mm-hmm.
shades for your
Mm-hmm.
brows.
Mm-hmm.
And then Borderline because the borders, the borders. Um, and then we have tonal control. So that's the one you were asking about, which is,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women ask about purple shampoo, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a story.
I've seen a lot of that.
So, right. Well, once upon a time, that was the only product out there for women with silvering hair. This was like, oh, if you've got silvers, here's your prescription of purple shampoo. Little pat on the head, away you go. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay. And you think of like the blue rinse old ladies, like that sort of idea. Um, it's just so sad. Um, and the purple shampoos on the market generally dry your hair out. Plus, you have to compromise. So you probably have your favorite shampoo. It smells a certain way. Your conditioner smells beautifully. It works in your climate. It works on your hair, whatever your hair texture is, and what kind of care it specifically needs. So why would you give that up for a purple shampoo to use once every few washes?
Right, right.
So what we came up with are these purple toning drops that you just add to a dose of your favorite shampoo or conditioner, and you basically DIY your own purple shampoo.
Oh,
And what
awesome.
it
I love
does is
that.
it neutralizes any yellows and cools down your hair. And it's also like you can dial it up or dial it down depending on how
Mm-hmm.
much you add because it's not a one size fits all. A purple shampoo might be too intense for some women and not intense enough for others. So this allows
Mm-hmm.
you to create exactly what you need. Um, and I know you were asking about like for your hair, you're going through a grow out.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! You got this, lady. You've got this. Um, And so you have old dyed ends, and
Yep,
then you have your
totally.
natural hair coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth is, you don't need a toning shampoo. You don't need a toning product for your natural hair unless it is yellowing.
Okay.
And
But
that's
for
the
the
reality.
yellowing that happens from the old,
Aha. So here's
yeah.
what happens to old dyes. If once you stop dyeing your hair, that old dye starts to fade. Even though it's permanent, it
Mm-hmm.
starts to fade, and it starts
Mm-hmm.
to what the Silver Sisters and all of the groups call, excuse me, call blorange. It's like blondie orange,
Orange.
blorange. Yes,
Lovely.
that happens. And you can kind of deal with that a couple of different ways. So some women, what they'll do is they'll look for, instead of kind of trying to lighten it, because if you try and lighten it, it's just going to get yellower and yellower
Yeah.
and yellower.
Yeah.
Um, the trick is to cool it down and to look for your natural darker shade. So look for
Uh-huh.
your low lights in
Uh-huh.
your, like if you talk to your hairstylist,
Uh-huh.
and if you want to do a final dye, just dye that. Just dye,
Put some low lights in.
put the low lights in that match your natural deeper tones.
Yeah.
And then you'll see
Yeah.
it's just far more cohesive, and you're not like warm, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but what we do have as it grows out, and if you just wanted to do a spot treatment, or if you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do like a section of your hair,
Mm-hmm.
the tonal control is great because you can make a mask with your conditioner. You can add the drops, make an intense shade of purple, add it in, and rinse it out, and it'll
Okay.
just cool down those yellow,
Awesome. Awesome.
kind of the blue orange.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah,
Such good wisdom on this. I like it.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah, but
it's
it's
like
the research, it's research driven as well. So
yeah.
we're not making stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love the fact that, you did all that research, that you listened to what, women really wanted, and
Yes.
had conversations with people on how do I do this. And so what an impressive journey you've really been on in building this company. And so
Thanks, lady.
congratulations on what you've built. I mean, it's really
Thank
impressive.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I look forward to trying some of your products. Tell us where listeners can learn more about
Mm.
your company and your products.
Yep. So our website is silveringbeauty.com, silveringbeauty.com. And it's our that's our where we're available right now is strictly and exclusively online. This year we're going to be moving into salons, and we're really
Cool.
excited about that because again, it's one of those win-win-win
Mm-hmm.
situations. I know a
Mm-hmm.
lot of salon owners are like, we've got customers who have decided to stop dyeing their hair, but we don't have products beyond purple shampoo. So
Yeah.
we've got more. Um, yeah, so silveringbeauty.com. Everything that you need to know is there.
That's so good. So good. And
Yeah.
then the final question I always close with is, what are 3 pearls of wisdom you'd like to leave with us today?
Oh, I was prepared for this,
Oh,
Cami, because
yay.
I listened to you. I listened to you. Yes. And I wrote them down. Um, okay, 3. 1, and I know this one's going to resonate with you. When you find meaning and purpose in your work, it makes the sloggy days easier.
So true.
That's
So,
really,
so
really
true.
important. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because and you'll
Because you're going
kind
to
of
have
know
sloggy days.
it's going to happen.
I like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
word,
yeah.
sloggy days.
And it's a slog.
Yeah.
Sometimes it hurts. The second is that there's more than one way to be successful
Mm-hmm.
and more than one way to measure success. And it's as unique as we are.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we grow older, we become more and more different from each other. You think of like a group of kindergartners, and they're
Mm-hmm.
all like kind of the same, very, very few differences. And as we grow, some people go to high school, some people go to university, some people go to college, some people travel, some people get jobs doing this or that or the other. And we become more and more and more unique the older we get.
Yeah.
And it's that uniqueness that is so valuable, and that's
Yes.
where it's like a very personal success. It's not a one size fits all. And then last, there is and always has been beauty in growing up and enrichment that we can feel proud of, and we should show it
Mm-hmm.
off.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing all this good wisdom. And I can't wait to try your products. And thank you so much for
Wonderful.
joining us.
Cami, my pleasure. And I'm so happy not just to be here, but to be here with you, because I think you're also doing really important work. I think we're all kind of pushing the same rock uphill
I
in
think you're
from
right.
all of our different angles, and
Yeah, we're all taking it
it's
our own unique way, and
yeah,
that's how we're making a difference. That's all the ripple effects that we're creating in the world together. So let's go because we need it.
amazing. Let's do it. Woo!
Okay, thank you so
All right.
much.